Welcome to Dear Young Queen, the podcast.
Alexis.
Yes.
I'm not doing this with you this week.
What? What are we doing?
Is this another mocktail in my cup?
I think you might actually like this one.
All right, what do we have?
So this is my twist on the Lexpresso.
Okay.
Instead of espresso, we have Thai tea.
Okay.
So I added some caramel almond milk.
Okay.
So you have a little bit of caramel, and then we also have a coconut liqueur in there with an extra splash of tequila.
Okay, so you did put tequila in mine.
Yes, and I actually have joined you. So I have a little splash as well. But the base is the Thai tea, the coconut liqueur, and the caramel almond milk creamer.
Tastes like I could get this at Starbucks.
Starbucks will not add the tequila to it. So.
Yeah, you got to come to Casa Lex for that. Well, fine.
So
I thought this looks like a juice. I'm not gonna lie to you. It looked like a V8, like you were giving me carrot
some
juice
carrot
or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. I love it.
We're gonna call it a caramel kiss. Mwah.
And sitting next to us, a little kiss from Miami.
Hi.
What's up, Julz?
Welcome to Casa Lex.
Thank you for having me. This is beautiful.
Thank
I need
you.
to talk
Thank you
about
so
the plots of
much.
land that are available around here.
Shh, hidden gem.
We have Miss Julz, Juliana, YesJulz.
Yes.
You're funny.
Social media personality,
Yeah.
mom,
Yeah.
serial entrepreneur.
Okay.
Also the founder of the YesJulz Agency. You started at 2014?
Yeah, and then I realized that it was bigger than me, so it's now 1 a.m. Productions.
I love
Beautiful.
that. If you're not already following her, go follow her right now so you can catch up on it.
Yeah, please, because as soon as I got pregnant, I lost a good 200,000. So bye-bye to those guys. Come follow me, okay? We're doing mom things over
Okay,
here.
that's fine. They didn't need to be there anyway.
No,
okay?
they not.
Yeah, well, the ones that left are missing out because the mom bod, a little bit of extra to see.
Why is she gassing me?
I'm just telling you.
Oh, I need some tequila.
That's what we
on my
do
drink.
around here.
I've been vocal about it. My body became banging once I had kids. Like I went from straight to now I'm just filled out. I got my hips, I got my ass.
So like I'm almost 200 pounds right now when my normal weight is like 145 if I'm in shape, 150, 160 if I'm a little bit over. And I feel just as comfortable in this body that I did when I was 160, that I did when I was 140.
Yeah.
I think I started to really feel this way around 30. I'm 33 now. But like I'm going to still be walking around at Puff's house in a bikini on Memorial Day weekend, whether
Yes.
I'm 200 pounds or 140 pounds.
Yes.
And I'm still going to feel beautiful either way because my sense of self-worth doesn't come from that
No, not at all.
anymore.
Anymore is right. I just got into my confidence really at now 40.
Wow.
It's really embracing myself and my curves and everything. Like I just wore a thong bikini for the first time at 40. I was 40 years old when I wore a thong bikini. So like, but we all should be wearing them. Like I'm seeing ladies all over, like Zoe, like she's been embracing her body. I'm like, why am I not doing this? Let me go and do this
I
real
said
quick.
this today.
Let
Because
me get
Snapchat
right.
will give you like memories from 4 years ago, 5 years ago on this day. And today, I got a memory of me in 2015 or 16 when I had the shaved head. I must have just gone through a breakup. And so I was super skinny. But in this video, I'm like, shout out to all my thick girls that they can't wear thigh highs. And I'm like, shut up, thick wear. You are so skinny in this video. I was literally a toothpick in this video, but to
You're
me,
like, you're nowhere
in
thick.
that moment, I had body dysmorphia and thought that because I couldn't like zip up some Barbie thigh high boots that wouldn't go past my fat ass
That were
calves,
never made
that I
for
was-
anybody.
that are sample size probably, right?
Exactly.
That I was like overweight. And I'm
Yeah,
like, girl,
yeah.
and I literally just before on my way here in the Uber on the way here, I was like, ladies, love the skin you're in right now because you might not feel good right now, but in
Yes.
5 years, you're really gonna look back on today
That's
and wish
right.
that you would have been prancing around in that
That's
thong bikini
That's-
back when you were 140
That's
pounds when
right.
you're 200 pounds.
That's why I'm saying wear the thong.
Yeah,
Baby, Janelle Monáe is on Angie's podcast.
I love Janelle Monáe.
I do too.
I love
And
her.
she
Thank you for
shared-
showing us your tits, Janelle. You freed me.
It was a gift for everybody,
Yes, it really
really.
was.
And she has the perfect sentiment on this, and it's going. I just want to play the clip for you guys.
Yeah, please.
Yes.
I'm in my thick season right now. Like, for me.
For you.
For me. I mean, I'm petite, but it can get thick.
Yeah.
And I've learned, I'm like, there
Ride
was a
that
moment
wave? Do you ride the
when I
wave?
couldn't fit them suits anymore. And I was like, oh my God, what is going on? And I would be dieting or running or exercising, trying to fit into, and I'm just like, no, we here. This is where we are. Like we not about to be utilizing life to try to be an old version of ourselves, no matter how celebrated that version of me was.
Ooh, I
That's
am not
heavy.
about to utilize life to be an old version of myself, no matter how celebrated that version was.
That's right.
Figure out a way to throw a new celebration.
That's right.
Just have a new celebration for what you're in. I'm still thinking about Ozempic, but I'll talk to you guys later about that.
Don't do it.
Life, you
Reconsider.
can speak life and still have your own insecurities. No, I'm not going to do it.
Now that I have a daughter, I'm like, I want my daughter's philosophy to be that she's perfect the way God made her. So
course.
if that's going to be her philosophy, I need to live and stand in that. Even if I want my boobs done.
You just had a baby. How long ago?
She's 14 months. Yeah, I can't believe that I'm even saying that. Like, they start school at 18 months. I'm like, I can't believe I'm looking for schools for her right now. It's crazy how fast time goes by.
It really does. It really does.
And she's a bit of a miracle baby, let's call her, yeah?
She had Gastroschisis, which like 1,500 children in America a year are born with. It's like a really weird
1,500.
thing. Yeah. And it's basically like so cool how we're made is like our organs are floating in our mother's ether in her stomach. And like, you know, day by day as we're an almond and a pear and a grape and peanut, all these things that the apps tell us, the skin starts like closing around us. And sometimes in rare instances, the skin will close without an organ inside. So what happened with River is that her body closed without her intestines inside. And so like I'm going for ultrasounds, and all of a sudden I'm at an ultrasound appointment one day, and then the doctor's like, excuse me, I'll be right back.
No.
And like leaves
Leaves
the room, and I'm in the room looking at the screen like, what?
What month in your
So I
pregnancy
was
were you?
15 weeks
15
when they
weeks.
noticed
Early.
that there was like another, it looked like another embryo or another thing like floating, like maybe it was like, I'm like, am I having twins? Like what's happening?
Right.
And it turns out that they ended up like, it took a couple ultrasounds to confirm, and they were hoping that it wasn't the case. So
Of
like, I
course.
think they didn't want to tell me at first, but like after a few appointments, they were like, all right, we can confirm that this is what's happening. Like your daughter, like they explained it to me, whatever. I'm like, okay, so like, what's that even mean?
Right.
And they're like, well, we're just gonna like keep monitoring it for the next few weeks and like see how it goes. And if then you have the decision, if we feel that it's safe to move forward with the pregnancy, you have the decision whether or not you can move forward or terminate it. And first of all, I'd already been sick and pregnant as for 15 weeks.
You're
so
like,
I'm like,
the
I
baby's
made
here.
it this far.
Yeah.
I'm like, what's her
life
like?
gonna
What's
be
her
like?
life gonna be
Yeah,
like? What's
yeah.
the complications gonna consist of? Like, does she need to have surgery? They're like, she's gonna need to have surgery as soon as she's born. You're not gonna be able to hold her. She's gonna go straight to NICU, and we're gonna monitor her there and put her intestines in a silo. And it's honestly really cool what science could do. So basically 50 years ago, this was a deadly diagnosis. Even like 30 years ago, it was a deadly diagnosis in most states. And today still is in Africa, unfortunately, and other places. Now, because of recent developments in medicine, they put the intestines in a bag, kind of like how you like squeeze toothpaste out of your toothpaste tube and like squeeze them back in. So there's like a little hole where the belly button should be. And just little by little, every day, they just squeezed it in, you know. And this was like our case. Every case is different.
Of course.
When I went home, the first thing they told me was not to Google it. Of course, when I went home, the first thing I did was Google it. And I saw all these images that I'm like, that I showed Duke, and he was like, I don't know about this, you know. And it was something that like we had our talk about, and I was just like, listen, I know I'm supposed to have this child, like whatever happens, whatever complications come with it, like I want to go through with it. And he made me feel supported in that decision.
Beautiful.
So we came back and we're like, all right, we're gonna move forward with this, and didn't really know what to expect. But honestly, she has an outie belly button right now, and that's it. No complications.
Which is very normal.
Like, yeah.
Like kids
so,
have
you know,
one or the other.
Imagine if I had actually been like, this is too risky, I'm not gonna
Isn't
do
that
it.
something?
Did you consider it?
Yeah, because I just like, I didn't know. What if it didn't work out and she can't eat food and she can't digest, and then she's like sick all the time or something? I don't know.
Were there any selfish, like, I don't know if I can do this life. I don't know if I can be someone that takes care
Of course, yeah, because, you know, it's just, I also take care of my family. my mom and my dad financially. My mom had just got a liver transplant. I'm financially responsible for them. So I'm like, how expensive is this condition gonna be throughout
all
her
of
life?
this.
Like all of these things.
Emotional.
It's a lot. But I had honestly like been pregnant before and hadn't gone through with it before. Because it wasn't with the right partner. And I just felt in my heart that this was a child that was made out of like the purest love and that she wanted to be here with us. And so we brought her in, and like, it's important for me to talk about it because if there's somebody else faced with that decision, I want them to see a beautiful, healthy child so that they know like, we're very blessed. There are instances that you see where there's an 8-year-old child still with her outer organ in a silo.
She's like
wasn't able to get that surgery. So, every case is different, but there's a possibility that it could be a normal, happy, healthy baby. Also, being in the NICU and seeing other families' cases was really eye-opening also. Like, there's, oh my God, even just thinking about it, like my heart goes out to anyone who has a child in the NICU. I saw babies that were, I kid you not, the size of this phone. I mean, insane. And to be like a mom coming to visit your child like that, like every day. And like, I got to take my baby home after a month, and I was so depressed for those 30 days, every single day. Why is this happening to me? Why do I have to go to the hospital to see my baby? Why do I have to leave her here? Why can't I take her home? There's people whose kids are in there for 6 months to a year. So, I think that's one thing that like mothers don't understand, or like, women we take for granted, is like just even delivering a happy, healthy baby and being a healthy mother, like, not going through it yourself. There's women who die in childbirth, so definitely a blessing to just have a safe delivery. Very grateful.
Did that affect your pregnancy at all? Like, did you have like abnormal pieces of your pregnancy that maybe other people who are having or carrying what they would call abnormal?
I was like so sick my whole pregnancy. Everybody says that it's like only the first first or second trimester. I was sick the entire time. I don't know if that had anything to do with what her condition was, but I don't know. I did. Other than that, like I was just nauseous.
Yeah,
that was it. Yeah.
Wow. So she really is a miracle baby.
She's on her 3rd day of swim lessons, swimming underwater, doing great. Yeah.
All right. So you got thrust into motherhood.
First of all, I met Duke in May.
Duke is your child's father. Okay.
Got engaged at the end of July. Woke up the night after my engagement and thought I had COVID because I was first I thought I was just tired from rolling out. I'm like, I just had a long weekend. I don't feel good. Like I need to go to the spa. Went to the spa, still tired. Oh, COVID still going around. The second wave, like maybe I have COVID. Did the COVID test. All of a sudden, he made a joke because I was like eating ice cream late night or whatever. And he's like, shit, this is your second bowl of ice cream. Like, what are you, pregnant or something? And I was like, oh, shit.
I didn't think about that one.
He goes to work the next day. I'm like, am I pregnant or something? So then I order I'm like, there's no way. And then I order the pregnancy test, take the pregnancy test. Sure enough, like 3 days after getting engaged and saying yes, I'm pregnant. And I'm like, what? There's no way. But everything just seemed like so meant to be, and he's like, everything's going to be great. This is a blessing. Yeah. So I was like, wow. Okay, it's a blessing. Like, let's go.
Of course, you're newly engaged. Yeah, you have a partner that's supportive.
Yeah.
You're in your 30s. It's not like this is you're not a young mom. You've achieved things in your career. That's right. It feels, maybe this is how it's supposed to happen.
I was like, okay.
Exactly.
All right,
great.
God, this is what's next. I got my husband. I got my baby. We're here. So, so it definitely wasn't planned. But it wasn't planned by me. It was planned by a better planner than me.
Exactly.
That's right.
I was already wanting something new and different in my life, like we were talking about before the podcast. Like I had been in the hospitality space, in the music space, in the talent management space. I've been a host myself, MTV, Vivo, etc. And I just felt like tired. I was exhausted. My spirit was broken. I was losing my faith in people. All of those industries are very difficult industries to be in as a woman that is not attractive and not afraid to embody that. I was wanting changes in my life. I decided not to tone it down, to start my own company. My company was doing well. I poured a lot of time and energy and love and resources and everything I knew into launching the career of 070 Shake, into helping my friend build his, brand that's now one of the top stores and brands in the world.
Beautiful.
All this stuff, right? And felt that like I never got anything back from those people I was pouring into, and I was just depleted and tired. I'm like, I want to pour into new people, different people. I want to be poured into. How can I like shift, right? And so, like I said before the podcast, I was like, I want to be in health and wellness. Those people seem like good people.
Yeah.
I want to be a part of that community. I want to work out and have a routine and go to bed early. I don't want to drink no alcohol. I want to like go to church and go to the gym. And so I started YesJulz. A bitch was bored selling juice.
Yeah.
I'm like, I've done Kanye West's album release party. I've taken a girl from Jersey who 2,000 people knew and made her the cover of a Billboard magazine, all this stuff. And you're like, I got my juice on GoPuff. I've got this cafe. Everybody likes the juice. Like, what now? And I'm like, oh, I want to go throw Kodak Black's birthday party. I want to help Ye release Donda. And then, it's like, wait, what? You're not, but you're YesJulz. And I'm like, no, I'm YesJulz. And I had a YesJulz season.
Correct.
And that was fun, but like it wasn't enough.
Yes.
When I was in middle school, I was in hockey, basketball, track, chorus, voice, hip hop, dance, like drama, you name it. I did everything. And if I dropped one thing, like I had FOMO, right? So I'm just a very hyperactive, passionate person that's like interested in a lot of different things. And I need to always be in a space. I finally have like come to terms with this. I need to always be in a space where I'm able to execute all of those things that I enjoy doing.
The world likes to run with the saying, a jack of all trades is a master of none.
Yeah.
The full quote is, a jack of all trades is a master of none, but oftentimes better than a master of one.
Amen.
If
they have
never
ever
heard, you never hear it.
The
never heard the end.
The world literally
You've never heard the end.
One part of that full quote
And
made us believe that the quote meant something that it totally is opposite.
Or a joke.
It says it's oftentimes better than a master of
I'm like, I'm a Swiss
one.
Army knife. As soon as I meet the person that's the Virgil Abloh to my Ye, that helps me like
navigate
and like take all these ideas that I have in my brain and put the business plan and play together for them, and then like have people that could actually help me execute at the same level I execute. I'm gonna be a billionaire. I'm just not giving up on myself. I'm gonna keep looking for those people. Like
back up a little bit, right? So like we're talking about the things that you want to do. Why don't you tell the people who aren't familiar with you what your agency did and kind of how you got really going and making a name for yourself here in Miami?
First of all, I always wanted to be the next Mariah Carey, just so everyone knows. I wanted to be a singer, or J-Lo maybe better because she acts in movies also. I wanted to be like a triple threat, except I can't dance. So I was going to be a double threat. I was that girl in high school that would sing the national anthem and sing and be in plays and all that until I tried out for American Idol at 18 and made it like all the way past all these rounds. And then when it was time for me to perform in front of Paula and Simon and these people, I opened my mouth to sing Fergie's Big Girls Don't Cry. And literally, as I was singing, nothing came out. Like fear came over me and stifled me to the point where I was opening my mouth to say things and nothing was coming out. And it was one of the scariest moments of my life.
Oh no.
I was like, this isn't my calling. Maybe I was like, maybe I'm meant to help other artists become who they are or something, I was like, because I just got that moment that I worked so hard for my whole life and nothing happened. So it's not for me, right? Wish that wasn't my perspective at the time. A decade plus later, I'm regretting that I took that turn and didn't continue with my dream in that space. But it led me to a space where I needed money and I'm in college. And so I started throwing parties and I was killing it in that space. I was like not even 21 in Tampa booking Drake. I realized one day, I was like, I'm not even 21 and I'm the best in this market at what I do. Like, let me move to Miami and do it in a bigger market and make more money. So I moved to Miami, was a waitress, had like 5 freaking jobs. I worked in medical sales during the day. I worked at Zuma after my medical sales office job. And then I worked at Segafredo late night.
Girl, and you wondering why you can't just sell juice.
She was like, look,
I clearly also am diagnosed with ADHD. After that, I got a job working with Miami Marketing Group. I was a VIP director for Dave Grutman at his venues. got tired of booking tables and walking people to their tables and not controlling the party. I was like, oh, I'm tired of hearing the same songs. I'm tired of seeing confetti at the same moments. I'm tired of predicting what's going to happen in this circus every single night, the same thing. I want to create an experience that gives people a different kind of energy and vibe. I wanted to do that and started my own company so that I could do so with different venues in the city. That didn't really go so well with my boss at the time, so I had to make a choice. And shout out to Chris Pacello, I love you always. He gave me the opportunity to do it at the Delano, and not only gave me the opportunity to do that party, but just let me be around.
Yes.
Just let me be there at lunch and overhear his conversations. Let me be around when he was negotiating with people or talking to his staff. And I picked up on all, that was like a crash course in marketing, event production, negotiating, like you name it, just being around him. I learned everything that I needed to know. And just really was off to the races from there. And from building that insane Rolodex and network from working at Live, I'm taking LeBron to his table. I'm taking Mark Lynn, the head of Nike, who's there to see LeBron to his table, right? And like, while everybody else is focused on the celebrity and making sure that they're good and all their needs are met, I'm like, oh, this is the head of Nike? This is the head of Kia? This is the head of Beats by Dre? Nobody's paying attention to y'all. They left you at the rope. They must not know who you are. Let me come take care of you guys. You guys come sit over here. I'm a fan. I love your commercials. I have ideas for more. Boom, 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 and just like started building those relationships and was never shy about the ideas that I had or the things that I wanted to do, and never had an ego. And it was never about money for me at first. And still to this day, I have to train myself to be more like money oriented. I'm a creative and I like to create. It's something I would do for free all day long. So it's hard to put a price on what I would do.
Yes. Ooh, so that's real. Good.
But now I'm learning having my daughters really help me in this space where it's like, oh, I have to be selfish. People have to understand that my time is valuable because now I have a child that's depending on me, and every minute that I'm away from her costs money.
Yep.
Right? It's easier for me to be stern in that space now and be like, no, this is my price and I'm doing it for that or nothing less.
That's right.
Whereas before her, I didn't have those boundaries.
Wait, sorry, just so people don't understand, right? So if you are sitting next to the head of marketing at Kia or the head of whatever at Kia, you now have the opportunity to do business with them.
I'm like, hey, Beats by Dre.
Yes.
I know that you got Serena in your headphones. I know that you got LeBron in your headphones, and those photo shoots cost you $500,000 anytime you put a campaign like that together. But what about the little me's who are running around throwing parties that these guys are coming to?
Right.
What about the little me's who are hiring the DJs that are going to have to wear headphones every single Monday night?
All night.
Right? All night. We could easily put your product on these DJs and just, throw me a couple thousand. It's not going to cost you $6 figures. Exactly. And this is at a time where this didn't even exist.
Yep, of course.
So I'm like, oh, I could come up with a whole program like this and call it an ambassador program. And here's somebody in sports, here's somebody in photography and fashion and events that could all rock your brand, and then you'll just dominate and infiltrate in all the lanes. And it's like, oh, this girl has good ideas,
Yes.
So from there, that's when the agency was born, and really only because shout out to because he was like, yo, you're working with these brands. You got a company? And then I was like, nah. And then he's like, so you're paying a lot of taxes on this. And I was like, what you mean I'm paying taxes? I get money back. And he's like, oh, no, you don't get money back anymore, girl.
Yeah.
Like it's changing now, right? So I had never even known. I never even knew somebody in my life that had to pay the government at the end of the year. I was like, wait, I don't get $3,000 at the end of the year anymore? So now everything's changed. And like, luckily I had yet again another business person in my life that I could learn from. That I started this LLC. And then from there, started getting even more particular. So now I'm like, okay, this brand is paying for this event. I'm hiring this DJ. Now I'm making playlists for the DJs because I know exactly what I want them to play. My audience was like, share the playlist with us. So I created a radio station, 1AM Radio. And from there, I was like, finding artists that didn't have a lot of awareness. And then I fell into artist management. Not because it was my dream to manage artists, but because I'm like, yo, I found this dope Dominican chick from New Jersey. She's got impactful lyrics. I don't know if she's gay or she's straight. She's representing this new generation of androgynous people that nobody sees themselves or hears themselves, on the radio. And I got to get her out there. Let me introduce her to these brands. Let's get her some campaigns. Let's put her in the Kith campaign. Let's have Daniel Arthur direct her first music video. How are we going to break into this space, And literally within 3 months, we had deals on the table. And then I was like, oh, maybe I'm good at this. So then I started an artist management company. And like literally none of this was my plan. God kept putting things in my path.
That's right.
And I had a lot of resentment with the way that situation turned out. What happened was, for those who don't know, We signed to Kanye.
This is the
I worked
070
with
Shake.
her, you know, went on tour 56 states. This was as YesJulz. I was getting $5,000 a night to host parties or do anything or post for anything. 070 Shake was making $500 to open for a band on tour for 56 states. So there was definitely, I'm not commissioning this young girl off of $500. So I went on tour 56 nights for free.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And
Not just
then,
for free, at a
not
deficit.
at a deficit.
Yeah, at a deficit.
And flew her crew out and all this other stuff. I'm putting my relationships on it, all this stuff on the
All
line.
of that.
And then when everything came and all of a sudden Billboard Mag and all these people were on Kanye's album, whatever, she needed a real manager in Irving Azoff's team, right? And so I was so hurt. My ego was so hurt. My feelings were so hurt. This was like family, whatever, that, you know, for a while that created a block for me in my career where I wasn't able to move past those wounds and like truly put my expertise to work for the next project.
Right.
So I'm still to this day healing from that, right? So that's what a lot of the pain of me not wanting to be in that space anymore came from that, came from me separating from my business partner in events, you know, feeling feeling no loyalty from nobody.
Right, right.
And so, yeah, I'm like, I just want a product. I'm going to put everything into a thing that's not living and breathing because my juice can't leave me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yes.
Now I'm in this space where I'm like truly trying to live in and know like, ride the waves. I have to just know and trust that the creator has bigger, like Kanye told this to me. So I'll never forget when me and Shake went our separate ways. I was like suspecting, you know, everybody's like, somebody's in her ear, you know, and I'm like, who could be in her ear? And then I'm like, oh, Irving Azoff. I'm like, isn't that the guy that Ye said's like his mentor? Yeah. And I'm like, how would she even meet Irving Azoff? Did she meet him through Ye? So then I'm thinking like, oh shit, this is some paid in full shit. Like, oh my God. And then I realized Steve Rifkin is in the credits for Paid in Full and he's on the team right now. And this is some paid in full. I can make a whole movie about this. And I will. But so then, you know, and I'm sitting there. So then one day Ye's like, yo, Julz emails me like, let's have a meeting. I fly from here to Chicago to have a meeting. I walk into the office and I promised myself before the meeting, I was like, I'm not going to cry. I'm not going to accuse this man of taking my artist up from under me. Like, I'm going to put my poker face on. I walk into the room. He's like, so what's up? And I'm like, what do you mean? What's up? You see what I did with this girl from the ground up? I gave her my everything. And yo, are in her ear.
Yeah.
Like, I know
Like,
it was
what's
you
good?
guys. I know it was y'all. Like, don't even come. I know you. He's like, when we make plans, God laughs. And I'm like, what?
He's like,
And he's like, well, like, you know, I understand you're upset or whatever, but like now you have more availability to work with me. And I was like,
oh, I wasn't ready for that.
all right.
Yeah.
What we doing?
Yeah,
He's like,
yeah.
yeah, we loved what you did with the album release party. My wife likes you. Like, you executed at a high level. Like, we want to work together. Like, get your lawyers on the phone with my lawyers. Let's figure this out. And so, you know, that was the beginning of my journey working with one of my favorite artists of all time. It's him and Lauryn Hill. And if Shake would have never fired me, I wouldn't have been able to work with Kanye. And I learned a lot about myself working with Shake. I realized that there's nothing that I can't do. That's what I learned working with her. I took something from the ground and built it up. And now I believe in myself, my ability to pop anything off.
Yes.
Once I had that, now I'm working with one of the biggest artists of all time with the biggest budgets. There was shit that I'm asking Def Jam for as Shake's manager that they're telling me it's impossible. Oh no, you can't. You got to turn it in 4 weeks ahead of time, or we can't get it up on the DSPs. Meanwhile, I'm in the SUV with Ye on the way to the bonfire.
He's like right now.
He took the picture for the album artwork on the way to the album release party and decided what the name of the album was going to be right then and there. Wrote it on the screen with his finger, sent it to Def Jam, and guess how fast they got that shit up on DSP?
That night?
Literally that night. So I was like, oh, okay, so now I'm in a different world and I see what's possible.
It was a whole nother.
Now I'm seeing different budgets.
That's
I'm in
right.
touch with different people. We're going to Uganda. I'm getting in touch with, I'm on email with the president. I'm on email with the UN. Like, you know what I mean? My Rolodex now, if I thought it was crazy after working for Dave Grutman, I got Anna Wintour in my contacts.
Yes.
I've never used it. What's up, Anna? I've never used
Shout out
it.
to
I don't
Anna.
need to use it yet. But like, you know, like
what
these
you're
are the
saying.
things that, like he said, when we make plans, God laughs at us. God always has a bigger and greater plan.
100%.
It's like, right, for like a few months, I'm like, I don't know what my next move is. I was putting this pressure on myself to like figure it out. Like your child's 14 months, you got to get going on your next thing. And I was trying to force what that next thing would be. It was a podcast at first. I'm like, oh, okay, it's a podcast. And then I like filmed a couple episodes. I wasn't impressed. I'm like, I don't know, this ain't it. And then recently I finally got the idea, like my Jeff Bezos idea that I'm like, oh, okay, I just had to be patient. You know? So now I'm invigorated. I'm excited. I think I know what's next, but I'm finally in a place where like, I'm okay with, if I'm wrong, it's okay.
And that's exactly what I think is super admirable about you. I don't fail well.
When you fail as much as I have, you just have to do it.
Failure to me will set me back. Like if
emotionally,
I did, everything.
Like,
you're kind of making them feel like pivots. To me having a business, starting it, opening it, and then having to shut it down would have been such a failure. It would have held up me opening my next business for probably like a couple years. I would be my own worst critic on that failure. You continuously, no, this isn't working. Let me try again. Yeah, I'm going to do something else. Yeah, and you don't hold that weight. And I think it allows not only yourself, but the people who are watching your journey to be inspired by the idea that you could really just keep going. I don't know what that feels like.
Right.
I don't know what it's like going through it. I don't know the disappointment you feel, but it feels like, oh, she didn't really like that anymore. She's doing this now. And it feels like, all right, I guess she didn't like that.
It never feels good it doesn't feel good at the time, you know, like it's really hard. And I have considered quitting more times in the past 3 to 4, because after Shake, I finally mustered enough strength to keep going with another artist and got the whole album done for her. Independent artist Wale is on there. I mean, we're working with people in J. Cole's camp, got her in the Dreamville sessions in Atlanta, and then woke up to a text one morning that she was gone because of fentanyl, right? This was 2020 New Year's Day. I left Puff's house. I went home. I checked my DMs. I couldn't believe what I saw was her brother reaching out to me. Got on the next flight to go bury this artist, right? And so, I mean, it's literally been the past since Shake fired me in 2018. I poured my all into Kanye that year. 2019, he went to Jesus and took a break on everything we were working on. I had the abortion I was speaking of. Went to Hawaii, had to build up my spirit back up. And then put focus back into Lexi and putting her, get her project done and putting it out there. And then she passed away, right? So all these things happen, and from the outside looking in, it might look like, I was like pivoting or whatever, right?
Yes.
But I've literally just had no other choice every time. So, yeah, I say that to say,
it's not as easy as it looks.
It's not as easy as it looks, but Ye said Floyd Mayweather is one of the greatest boxers of all time, right? But we don't talk about him that much. We don't there's not a lot of people like he's inspired by him or like idolizing him, right? Why do you think that is? Because he's never lost.
I was about to say because
he's never lost. So we can't relate to him. People want to see you get knocked down so they can watch and see if you're going to get back up.
Interesting.
Because people have been knocked down themselves, so they want to see you get back up so that they know that they could get back up.
There's no point of connectivity to Floyd Mayweather. He's a constant winner. He's wealthy as fuck.
That's true.
He dictates his own working terms.
I wear Air Force Ones one time only. Then I get rid of them.
There's nothing.
But you see a fighter lose and you're invested in that story. You want to see, you know what I'm saying? Like we're invested in the Heat coming back right now. We're invested in them winning this championship because they've lost for so long.
That's right.
So it's like, that kind of like turned a light bulb on in my head and made me realize I was trying to figure out at this time when this epiphany came to me, I was trying to figure out, why do people follow, who am I? Why do people follow me? At first I thought it was because I was the girl that was working at the #1 nightclub in America around all these celebrities and had access that people didn't have. But once I stopped doing that and I was just managing a random artist that nobody knew or cared about, people were still invested.
Right.
And then it became that she was so popular that once we split, I thought that people weren't going to be invested anymore because they were just around for her.
Right.
But then people were still invested. Then I, went through what I went through, started a juice company, people were still invested. And so I realized it's not and this is what we talked about.
Yes.
Who I am is not based upon what I do.
No,
for a living at all. Because what I do for a living is going to continue to change. But it's my morals, my ethics, what I'm passionate about, how I storytell, how I get go through adversity and how I get back up every time I get knocked down. Right. And that's something I've been studying to try to figure out, like, why do I keep getting back up? I was a foster kid. I got adopted when I was 9. And I'm a firm believer that fostered youth or like at-risk youth will have the power to be either the greatest criminals of tomorrow or the most productive members of society of tomorrow. And it all depends on whose hands they fall into and how they're nurtured. My mom is amazing. And so because of her, I'm going to be a productive, impactful member of society for the rest of my life. And that's just going to be my journey. But it could have very much went left.
the other way.
And it was going left for me. And that's how I even met my mom, was because she was a supervisor at the after school care program that kids like me would go to, that I was always getting into fights, I was just bad. And so I would get sent to her office. And the only reason why she knew me out of all the kids in the center was because I was in trouble.
You were in trouble.
And she saw that I was interested in music and dance and that I was making plays and doing all this stuff. And that's why I was getting in trouble, because I was doing all this stuff while I was supposed to be doing classwork. And instead of like punishing me, she got me singing lessons, or, gave me the outlets to express myself. Think about it like this. When you're in foster care, you move around a lot. If you're not contributing, or if you're not like a productive member of the household, people will just get tired of you and get rid of you, and you go to another household. And what do you think you're going to do at that next household? After so many, you're like, oh, I gotta be useful. How can I be useful to this family so I could stay here? How could I make my grandmother like me enough to not ship me back to my aunt and uncle this time, or whatever? You know what I mean? I feel there's many kids like the young version of me that just need us, people like us, Dear Young Queen podcast, to tune into, to like hone in on those abilities.
That's not the first time that I've heard that put exactly like that. JT did an interview. JT, again, also on Angie's podcast, shared about her mom was in and out of her life on drugs. She lived with her father, but her father was remarried and had 11 other children. She was always in and out of different people's homes, and she was like, this is not my place. I had to show that I was deserving, or that they should keep me here.
So that's a lot of pressure.
And contribute to this household in one way.
And there's great things that come from that: work ethic, determination, resilience. But there's negative things that come from that, which is even once we are good enough, we still feel the need to oversell ourselves, to overcompensate.
Yes.
I have been out of survival mode for 10 years, but I still operate as if I'm in survival mode. I just found that out in therapy. Even when I was pregnant and taken care of and had the ability to chill, I still felt like anxious, like I need to work. I need to be bringing in money because I never know how long I'm going to be here.
Yes.
And that was a big part of the reason why my relationship didn't work out. It's hard to like undo those patterns in that trauma.
But you're working at it, and that's what's important.
Yeah.
Yes.
I love you, JT.
Before we get up out of here, you're a pretty big deal over at Snapchat.
Shout out to Snapchat, man. You guys are saving a single mom's life right now. Let me tell you, boy.
A pretty big deal over at Snapchat. Even been nominated for some awards, and you're just doing things. So in our little deep dives on your Snapchat and stuff, we found a post that you put up on Mother's Day.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm going to read it.
Okay.
Because I'm going to try to get through it.
It's good.
Like an adult. Like a grown-up, because it was so good that I just think that women need to hear this.
It's beautiful.
It says, I've been so angry and upset at myself lately. I look at my current situation and I wonder how I got here. This isn't how this motherhood thing was supposed to go. I thought I was special. I thought I was going to break generational curses. I thought that I would be the first in my bloodline to do this whole happy family thing the right way. 2 happy, healthy, successful parents with a child in one beautiful home with flowers in the vases and food in the fridge. I waited 32 years just to make sure I did this the right way. I thought there would be father-daughter dances in the living room and Sunday picnics with the 3 of us at the park. Instead, I struggled to get out of bed each morning as I opened my eyes from an anxious sleep, only to realize it's still just me and her. Nothing is fixed, and everything seems irrevocably broken. I get my beautiful daughter up from her crib each day, and I'm hit with waves of sadness when I look into her eyes. I can't seem to see her smile without wanting to cry. And then I feel guilty for exposing her to such disparity, which drives me further into sadness. I've dealt with many disappointments in my journey, but this is a different kind of darkness. I pray for the day that I'm able to be on the other side of this, looking back with pride about how I was able to choose peace and joy over losing myself to keep up with my own expectations of what the perfect family structure should be. I know that everything happens for a reason and that God always has a better plan for us than the one we have for ourselves. And for that unwavering faith, I'm grateful. I'm in constant awe how happy and strong River is despite the weakness and sadness that I have displayed during our time together. I can't help but to think she's my very own guardian angel sent here to show me the true meaning of unconditional love and eternal joy. Mm-hmm. It is not lost on me that there are many other mothers who may feel the way I do right now. And so although I had client obligations to post today, I couldn't just go live with another whole Mother's Day campaign acting like everything's okay when it clearly is not. I wanted to send a special happy Mother's Day to those women who are having a hard time right now. In case no one told you today, you are loved and appreciated. Your sacrifices do not go unnoticed. Mm-hmm. Everything is going to be okay. New blessings are on their way, even if they aren't exactly the ones you've been praying for. Families come in all shapes. Trust the process. The love you deserve is already within you.
That was really well written.
That's what,
I'm
that's
like,
what
damn,
we
I wrote
said.
that?
Yes.
Dang.
Yes, you did.
And I don't have children. Mother's Day is a particularly joyous holiday for me. I love my mother. It's like the time of year I get to celebrate her. I don't have any feelings about not having kids yet at my age. So I don't. Mm-hmm. But sometimes I see those posts on Mother's Day that's like, to all the mothers, to all the women who don't have their mothers, or to all the people who are missing a mother, all that. Sir. And that always tugs at my heartstrings. I saw a different angle. And it was the angle of a single mother, which was my mother. Mm-hmm. The one that I so joyously look forward to celebrating on this day. That she probably spent times or moments feeling exactly how you felt in this moment. Mm-hmm. And I was so grateful that you just decided to shine a light on what that experience could feel like. Mm-hmm. I really am. Because it allowed me to, appreciate my mother's experience even deeper. But it also made me know that the friends that I have that are going through this aren't alone. Mm. Right? It made me want to send it to my homegirl who got 2 of them things by herself.
Yeah, yeah. It
made me want to share it with another woman who is pregnant and splitting with her partner and getting ready to enter this journey.
It's so many.
There's so many different variations of what a single mother looks like and where you could be in that stage. Mm-hmm. That it was just so beautiful to me that you decided to open up and share that piece. I'm sure there's more. Some days it's less, but you were just willing to just pull the curtain back a little bit. And I think it's important. And I really hope that you realize the impact that you can have on people in that way.
That's so crazy because I almost didn't post. I posted at midnight. Yeah. I let the whole day go by really without. I'm like, there's got to be other moms feeling this way. Let me just, because I'm looking at my timeline. I'm seeing all these beautiful posts, and I'm like, this is how I should be feeling after my first year of motherhood, but it's not how I'm feeling. And how do I express this? Oh, yeah.
She was not wrong. It was posted on May 14th at 9:55 p.m. You had just a few hours left in the day.
I would love to say that I'm just this wise, strong person that by choice came out and made that post. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But I had no choice because if I didn't post that campaign for Mother's Day, I wasn't going to get that check from Shapermint, which is the brand that I was working with at the time. Mm-hmm. And so the bravery came in where I had to make a post, and instead of just being fake and putting a smile on and saying Happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there, whatever, I decided to be candid and authentic. Mm-hmm. Had I not had that obligation, I would have just completely shut down my Instagram. If I didn't have brand obligations right now in this dark time that I'm going through, I would have deactivated my Instagram and I wouldn't be sharing anything. But for whatever reason, my journey, God would have it, that my journey requires me to continue sharing so that I could continue living the life that I'm living.
Yes.
And so I find myself in these positions where on Mother's Day, I had to post that post where for Mental Health Awareness Month, on the 31st, yesterday at whatever time, I had to do my post for my brand campaign and had to just change the script and say, hey, I haven't been making therapy a priority, and that's why I'm right now. Mm-hmm. So don't be like me. Mm-hmm. Go to therapy even when you're happy, because there's another wave that's about to hit you in the face.
That's right.
Around the corner, and you want to be prepared to swallow that water or spit it back up and keep swimming. And it's literally forcefully something that I have to keep doing. And I'm realizing like, that's just my journey in life, is to just share my story, because look at how, like, it's crazy to me that you don't have
I have no kids. I have no kids.
I'm not. You love your mom.
Big
Your
auntie,
relationship with your
but
mom
your
is
auntie.
great.
Yes.
And you just shed a tear over reading that post where it's like,
Because
was
I know
amazing.
she had nights.
Yes.
Where she had moments.
there was
There wasn't
1000%
a
days where
birthday
she went to see you and she looked at your face and saw his and had to go in the bathroom and cry and get it together, because she's
100%.
like, it's like not easy.
It's not.
And then you feel so guilty for looking at your own child and feeling sadness.
Absolutely.
When your child is just oblivious and happy and wants you to
didn't
show
ask
up
to
and
be
be
there,
happy.
just
didn't ask to
here,
be-
just living.
And you're like,
yeah.
okay, you know, like I gotta like keep it going, but look at how you turn out to be, because your mom was
on.
able to do that. And this is another thing we were talking about before this, is that there's some people who didn't go through enough trauma to have that kind of wisdom, tenacity, or resilience.
Yes.
Yep.
When
Yes.
you're not faced with challenges and obstacles, like you don't have that fire burning in you in the same way. Things don't happen to us, they happen for us. So, you
It's a
know,
real
like
thing.
even if you don't know what the case, the reason, the why is, you just have to like have that faith, like I said in the post, to know that it's all for a bigger reason.
Absolutely.
And as you're in the middle of your season, I just want to encourage you, for every moment that you're feeling like it's overbearing or it's too much, share, because you can only heal yourself and others by sharing. You can't. You're never going to heal with it locked, trapped in.
I agree with
you're
that.
Just gonna, you'll
I
literally
agree.
keep choking on it. It'll come up and you'll swallow it back down. Come up and you'll swallow it back down. And you're stuck in it. You don't know what little girl is scrolling through that, or what teen mom, or whatever.
Or a vet mother.
Or vet mom.
It
Hello?
It doesn't matter. It
Hello?
doesn't matter. I resonated to that, because there's many times where I felt by myself like, damn, I'm doing it all. Like, what the? Like, I'm, you know,
Or
we
imagine
all go
having
through
somebody
it.
through
We're
it
going through it.
for
Yes.
16 years.
Yeah.
And then having to do it on your own.
That's right.
I couldn't even imagine.
You understand what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Right?
yeah.
It is. So you
Yeah.
actually
It's
are
some
now
real shit.
experiencing single motherdom while they're experiencing the transition as well. River doesn't even know the transition right now.
Yeah.
You understand what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So like all of these things just happen for a reason and a time, and like share. Don't choke on your own feelings.
We're all in the same experience. We're all living
We
the same
are.
experience. We're all a reflection of one another.
That's right.
I'm in a space in my life where I can't remember the last time, except for my ex, I looked at somebody and was like, F that, like this person sucks, or like this and that, because the amount of empathy that I have just because of all the shit I've been through. Like I've said some shit on Twitter that got me canceled a couple times. I've
Yes.
made some mistakes.
Yes.
So
Yes.
now when I see somebody else make a mistake, I'm not quick to cancel them.
Yep.
I'm not quick
Right.
to point the
Preach that.
finger,
Right.
because we all have our time in the chair, you know? So it's like, once you've been in that chair and you've been rattled and shaken and broken, you look at the next person that's going through it and holds more space for them.
Man,
I agree.
You definitely do.
I agree.
You definitely do.
And I feel like now we're finally, as a society, coming to the place where enough people have been rattled and had to go through this stuff, where now it's like, everybody's like, cancel culture. But a lot of our favorites had to get canceled to get to that place.
I agree.
Right?
I agree.
Right, exactly. So like, they're like, no, we're not doing that to Dave Chappelle. No, we're not doing that to
Like now it's
you
time
know?
to take a stand.
Yeah, now it's time. Now we can't cancel people no more. I'm like, damn, why y'all ain't feel like that when it was TRL? It was my opportunity to host. Now I gotta lose my dream job, but it's okay because everything, comes full circle.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you so much for having me. This is a long
Thank
time
you.
coming. I'm happy that you coached me through making it here today, because I was just, first of all, I have
got you, boo.
PTSD from interviews. Second of all,
I got you.
I was just like, man, I don't know, Alexis. Like, don't ask me nothing crazy. I can't. I'm not in the space right now. I'll break down.
But I'm like, this is a safe space.
No,
Welcome to
it's-
Castile.
Because she likes to go with this never not working, right?
And never not working means something totally different for me now than it did 10 years ago.
What's the transition? What's the difference?
I started using that hashtag because I was in nightlife taking women out and realized that there was a lot of kept women who were fine with not working in my city. And whenever I would travel elsewhere and tell people who I was and where I was from, they'd be like, oh, you're from Miami and you work in nightlife? Oh, I get it.
yeah.
Right? So I was like, I can't have this be my story. I can't have this be my narrative. How do I change?
Right.
How do I brand myself so well as a working woman that no one ever questions whether or not I'm a working woman? And I just started never not working my way up to the top. So everything I did, I was like, hashtag never not working. Can I go to dinner? Is it a meeting? No? Okay, I can't go to dinner. Can you come to this party? Is there a way for me, somebody for me to meet there that I could do business with, or some way that I could network? Yeah. No, I can't. And like, that was cool when I was hungry and needed to build something for myself. Right. Yes. But then once I got to where I was going, and I continued that, I ran myself into the ground. And then I realized like now never not working for me means never not striving for greatness. Yes. Never not like working on myself. If I could be working really hard at therapy right now. And that's what I'm working on.
Yes.
And then once I'm done with that, I'll be working hard on my app or on my body or whatever. But as long as I'm always learning, growing, healing, pushing forward, that's never not working.
Never not working.
Always and forever. Never not working.
Hey.
But listen, for those people that are not already following you, can you let them know where they can find you, how they can follow you, how they can support all the things?
Yeah, I'm YesJulz on everything except for TikTok because I really didn't want that app to happen, but I caved, and so now I'm YesJulz TV. But if you have my YesJulz handle on there, I got some money for you. Just come at me. Let's talk this out.
Listen, we're so glad to have you here, even though
cheers.
You got your Casa Lex mocktail. What did we call it again? Caramel kisses?
Yes, caramel kisses.
Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so much for
having me.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Until next week.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, shit.